Good afternoon. This is Dr. Taylor for English 302. This is our week 3 update. So I'm going to go over a couple things, what you need to do for week 3, as well as our first assignment for the course, our first formal assignment for our class. So I will share my screen and we will go over that information. All right, so first you're going to want to go to the content section of the class, where we have the week 3 module from 2/7/21 to 2/13/21. And there are the readings for Dorothy and William Wordsworth. I would like you to read Dorothy Wordsworth's selections first and then read her brother William's selections. So there are 2 journals, and I want you to read the journals in their entirety, and then a couple poems from William Wordsworth. And then I have posted a PowerPoint on the 2. Mostly it's biographical, but there might be some hints embedded in there that will help you with your forum post. Segueing to forum post number 2 on the siblings, I want you to read the works of both Dorothy and William Wordsworth, and you will see an interrelatedness in their work. But what is that interrelatedness? So Dorothy was not recovered until 1897, some 20 years after her death, while her brother William has been regarded as one of the paragons of the Romantic period, meaning that he was and is canonical. That means you will find an author in the anthology. However, if you examine the recovered works of Dorothy, you might see how she influenced her brother. So that's where the hint is. So for this week's post, I want you to conduct a little literary forensics and try to see where William may have borrowed from his sister. You will want to review the poetry I assigned as well as Dorothy's journals. So read them. I'm not going to tell you exactly which one to read, but the evidence is there. Then after highlighting the relationship between the siblings' work, reflect on if you feel William was simply paying homage to his sister or flat out plagiarizing her ideas. Or you might come up with something else in between. That's completely up to you. You write about and you analyze it how you see fit. So your post should be between 200 to 250 words, and you must use textual evidence to support your claims. So no conjecture. Use the textual evidence from both Dorothy and William Wordsworth's works. Afterwards, you must read 5 and respond to at least 1. I would recommend doing the response sooner rather than later. It's not a good idea to try to cram until Sunday night. So that's that on what we need to do for week 3. Next, I would like to talk about our first formal assignment for the class, and this is the literature review. If you examined it on the syllabus, I had made a few mistakes on the assignment summary on the syllabus, but I have composed an assignment sheet that should give you some clarity. After I go over this, if you have any questions about the assignment, don't hesitate to email me. So let me share my screen yet again, and we will go over it. So here under assignment sheets, I've opened a new submodule in our course, and this as it pertains to the literature review assignment. So click on it, and you will find that throughout the course of the semester, you need to do 3 literature reviews in our class. I'm not going to assign a large formal essay, but this will function in some capacity as some of the analytical writing I need you to do. So what you need to do is find and read 3 academic articles that discuss an author and or text from our course. There shouldn't be time there. So you want to do 1 on Romanticism, 1 on the Victorian era, and 1 on the contemporary period. But that'll be much further down the road. You will then summarize the article, examine the evidence and examples the author uses, and offer your stance on the author's approach. You will only do 1 literature review at a time. So you will do 1 for the Romantic period, 1 for the Victorian period, and 1 for the contemporary period. So the task is simple. You will use the CalU main library webpage to search for articles, and I'll go over this in a minute. And then you're going to find a scholarly article to an author or topic that interests you. So perhaps you're very interested in Mary Wollstonecraft or very interested in William Blake. Find a peer-reviewed article about them, and then that's what you do your review on. So a scholarly source, as a reminder, from your days in Composition 2, or if you've had me for research for writers, is one from an academic journal that goes through the peer review process. So that means it's not a popular news source or anything from a web page. And then when doing the review, you're going to provide a correct APA or MLA citation, just one or the other. And then you're going to write a 250 to 300 word annotation of the source. So essentially what you need to do is summarize the article. What is the author writing about? And then what evidence does the author use to support his or her claims? And then lastly, offer your stance on the article. Does the author provide a unique insight or reading that you may have not considered? So when you read The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, maybe you had your initial response to it, but maybe reading the scholarly source helped inform a different understanding of the text that you may not have considered. And then think about how might the article that you annotate be useful if you were writing a research paper on your primary text or author. So like how could this be useful for you? And you don't have to go on at great length, a paragraph should suffice. And then the evaluation is simple. Is the task completed? Is the review concise and grammatical? And did you submit it on time? The first literature review on Romanticism is due on the 21st. And then you can see the subsequent due dates. Here are a couple additional notes. Please use either APA or MLA for document design. If you're English majors, MLA should be your bread and butter. It should be double spaced. It should have all of the conventions that MLA document design entails. And then I will post on some information on how to summarize, how to annotate, and some reading strategies if you need to go over that. It might be helpful if you've never done anything like this. And do not hesitate to take this assignment to the Writing Center. Well, that might be hard if you're not on campus, but I do believe you can schedule remote appointments on Zoom or whatever technology they use. So if you have any questions about that, do not hesitate to ask me. So when you're looking for a peer review source, you're going to want to go to the CalU library website. And you can find that at library.calu.edu/home. And when you are looking for credible academic sources, I have found that you will need to go on OneSearch, where it allows you to tap into the databases that CalU purchases, which you pay for with your tuition. So when you're on there, click on scholarly articles, and then we'll just type in, you can see some of the research I was doing. We'll type in Mary Wollstonecraft. And then it will prompt you to log in if you're doing this from home, but you would just use your CalU library credentials. And then it will take you in. So Mary Wollstonecraft is a well-known canonical author. So it will have a research starter on her, but that's simply an encyclopedia article, so you can't use that. But if you did click on the scholarly article peer-reviewed box, then you will be able to find a number of sources that will correspond to your author. So don't get Mary Wollstonecraft mixed up with Mary Shelley. Mary Wollstonecraft is Mary Shelley's mother. So Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. Mary Wollstonecraft was a little bit before, and she wrote The Vindication of the Rights of Women. So for example, we can find here that there is one on Wollstonecraft and the Vindication of the Rights of Women. So when you get on the database, it should provide a PDF article for you. And if you just click on that, it will take you to the actual journal article. And this is what an academic journal article looks like, if you were unsure. And then you will, after you read it, you're going to want to take some notes, highlight, underline, do all that good stuff, and then write your literature review. So that concludes the discussion of the literature review assignment. But if you are unsure or uncertain, do not hesitate to email me about it, because I'd be more than happy to meet with you on Zoom to talk about it. Furthermore, before you turn it in, if you wanted me to take a quick look at it, I would be more than happy to help you with that. Just because we are doing this online, web-based, rather than remote real-time, I'm still a resource that you can take advantage of in real time. I'd be more than happy to meet with any of you. So that concludes everything we need to do for week 3. As a reminder, read the William and Dorothy Wordsworth pieces that I've selected. Look through the PowerPoint that I provided, and then do the forum post. But consider thinking about doing your literature review sooner rather than later, because the 21st, it's right around the corner. I know today is the 8th, but the 21st will be here before you know it. Have a great third week, and again, contact me if you need anything.